My name is Tsungu, the founder and the director of Nsovo Learning Academy. I would like to welcome you to our podcast, Mintiro Walabula at Nsovo Learning Academy. Nsovo Learning Academy is an institution which deals with trainings such as sign language training, facilitation, secretary, assess and moderation, coaching and mentoring, and early childhood development. In this institution, we are striving for the recognition of deaf people, fair and equal treatment, irrespective of their race, gender, or disability. Our main objective is to draw a numerous number of normal hearing people in South Africa to train in sign language so that they could be able to communicate efficiently and effectively with deaf people, that they could be able to engage in a short conversation with deaf people, to be able to communicate and socialize with them, to be able to offer assistance to deaf people. My name is Tsungu, and I welcome you to our podcast, Mintiro Walabula with Nsovo Learning Academy. As a norm, on our platform we invite and we engage various kinds of people. When these people, they add their views, we discuss, their career, we discuss also their life in general. And today on our platform, we are having a guest, a wonderful guest. By the way, this guest is my homeboy. Yeah, it's my homeboy. Yeah. Hey, this platform, it is really blessed with, my homeboys. I really thank God for that. This guest, who could be? His name is Nyiko Mabunda. I wanted to say where he's coming from. There's no need. He will proclaim that himself. It's Nyiko Mabunda. He's a social worker. He's also an advisor. He's also a marriage counselor as well. One could say also, a psychologist. Anyway, we'll hear out from him. Welcome to our podcast, Nyiko. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We are enormously humbled and gratified by your presence on our platform today. By the way, Nyiko, tell me something. There is this notion or a narrative to say that which says homeboy. What does this actually narrative or notion means, homeboy? Because homeboy, in being Africans, our culture and our philosophy, I understand that, it is, when you're in an essence of respect, is it proper to call an elder, somebody who's, an elder to you, a homeboy? Because, also, I strongly believe, reflecting, we are very much rooted in our culture, which is very rich. Yeah. We grew up, knowing that, respect is fundamental. An elder person is an elder person. Whether it could be your real, even if it's not your father, your biological father, or your biological brother, that person earns respect. I'm asking this because I'm interested. You hear how people say, homeboy, my homeboy, my homeboy. And my understanding of that narrative is that a homeboy, yes, is somebody you coming from the same region, the same, maybe town as well, or your neighborhood. Yeah. You understand? So, is it a respect? Tell me, is it a respect? Is it possible that you could find yourself whistling an elder person to you. Say, for instance, you need this person's attention. This person is, you've been sent to call, this uncle, and you could see that it's kind of like miles away from you. Is it possible that, Nyiko, instead of you running and making the point chasing him, and you grab him and say, hey, you are being called here, come with me. Is it, does it show respect? Is it something which you could do? You say, okay, no, it's fine, I can't reach there. Let me whistle him.
No, in our culture, it's not a sign of respect.
Okay.
Though we've normalized it as a society, especially the younger generation. You remind me of one incident which happened when I was growing up with the late Mr. Miss.
Oh, yes. Our former teacher, by the way.
Yeah,
yes.
One of our icons in the village.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was asked to go and call him. We're neighbors.
Yes.
We used to be neighbors. So,
yes,
when I was approaching his house, I realized that no, he was walking towards the side where homeboys. He was going to the ground, field.
Yeah.
And I just shouted.
Wow.
And said, Bambitana.
Yeah, he tried to get his attention from the distance.
I paid that.
Yeah, yes.
I paid a very big price.
And remember how strict he was.
Yeah.
Very strict man.
Was very strict.
So you paid?
Yeah, I paid dearly.
Yeah.
But not in physical form.
Yes.
He reprimanded me and taught me the right way of doing things. Yeah. So I don't think it's proper to whistle to an elder or to even call someone older than you a homeboy. Yeah. But at least if you're referring to someone who's younger than you, we can say it's acceptable.
Absolutely. Wonderful. No, I think, you have cleared up that, that because I want that actually. I know that our viewers they are going to engage us, at the later stage. Certainly, it's something which, it is a bone which they have to jive around it, and let's see how, they're gonna reach the core. Yeah. Once, it goes to this, interview goes to YouTube or the social media platform. Yeah. Let's hear out what they say. But I believe our philosophy, our culture, it's completely us. You can't whistle, you can't just call, an elder, somebody who is elder than you.
Even to call an elder by name.
It's completely wrong. Yeah. But anyway, let's deal with our issues in front of us for today. I've already welcomed you, Nyiko. We are very keen, man. You see, it's been quite a while not seeing each other. Yeah. And whatever is transpiring in your life, we just overhead it and stuff like that. And I strongly believe, I know that you have already rocketed the sky high, you have made it. But who is Nyiko Mabunda? And tell us, where are you hailing from?
Nyiko Mabunda is an African man who comes from Guyana, Siandani village. Okay. Born and bred there, raised in a family, a complete family, where there was a mother and a father. Okay. Family of 5 children. I'm a middle child myself. Okay. I'm married, and I've got 4 kids. Okay. I'm a social worker by profession. Okay. I'm also the CEO of Nyawani EAP and Wellness Consultants.
Oh, okay. Hey, this man has got a lot to tell, eh? Please, Nyiko, don't deny us a lucrative information, and information which is very, very is going to be helpful actually even to our viewers as to how you grew up, the kind of the challenges which you were encountering by then, because obviously the road, it wasn't like a tar road, it was rough,
it was not smooth.
So those kind of things, before we get into whatever you have accomplished, we would like really to know from the humble beginning. What how was life then?
I grew up like any other child from the village, where I never had the privilege of using transport to school. Okay. We were walking kilometers to go to Siandani Primary School. Yeah, so very well. Yeah. And also when we went to Famanda High School. In fact, I've never had the privilege of going to school using any mode of transport, even in tertiary. So that is how we grew up. We grew up looking after goats. We grew up playing soccer, starting from when we were in primary and high school and all of that. In fact, soccer was the only sport.
Yeah, that was the only sport at our disposal. Yeah.
In the village. And also watching our elders play the very same sport. So our lives revolved around that.
Yeah. We just envying them, what they were doing.
Yeah.
But then now, where this social work career, where is it emanating from?
When I was growing up, I had an uncle of mine who was my dad's younger brother, who was a soldier.
Okay.
He was a special force operator.
Okay.
So as a child, I was looking up to him because within the family, remember my dad is coming from a polygamous family.
Yeah.
Where my grandfather Jackson had 5 wives.
Yes, that I know. Yeah.
So within that Jackson family, he was the first child to own a car.
Okay.
The first child to stay in the township at the E.
Yeah.
So somehow we're looking up to him because he was the only person who could come home with a car, driving a car.
Yeah, driving a car, yeah.
So I used to look up to him and I thought, if I can be like him, if I can be a soldier.
Wow.
But then, as I grew up,
Yeah.
I started to have different ideas. I wanted to become a medical doctor because of Dr. Mlam, of course.
Yes,
I was looking up to him.
Yeah. It's a role model, even today, to many people.
Yeah, it's a big icon in our village.
Yeah, he is.
And he's an unsung hero. He's very private, but he's a great man. So I wanted to become a doctor, but then I experienced problems in high school. I've shared this story with some friends of mine at some point. You see, I was good in maths and science. But then I had a problem with one of our teachers in high school during standard 9.
And which high school were you attending?
Famanda.
Famanda, yes. Yeah, okay.
Remember, I was a grade below you.
Yeah, I know, yes. Yeah, you were just coming
there. So we were brewed by the same pot.
Correct.
So when I was doing my standard 9, I had an argument with our maths teacher who happened to be also teaching us physical science.
Okay.
The problem centered around the fact that in one of the tests which we wrote, the guys who were known to be the best students of maths did not do so well, but I did not get a single wrong on the responses that I
You got taught by
I got total, but I did not get total marks.
You actually robbed some marks.
So I confronted this guy to say, no,
I don't see,
this guy has got so many wrongs,
Yeah.
but he still has a higher mark than myself. He did not take it well,
So you wanted to know the criteria they are using
for 1, 2.
Yes,
But he humiliated me in front of the class.
Okay.
Because he wanted to show me that he's the main man. And it didn't sit well with me. I was just a child.
So by the way, that was personal.
Yes.
Because here you are confronting him. You need answers.
Yes,
by the way,
yes.
And innocently so, because end of the day you just went through your script.
And you know how some of these teachers were. They had their own favorites. If they knew that so and so are the best maths students, when it comes to class, he focuses on them more.
Okay.
So you want to elevate them at all times. So if you come and you challenge them, sometimes they don't take it well. But then, because of how he humiliated me in class, to be quite honest, my marks in maths and science started to drop. Because I was seeing this man every day and he had a different attitude towards me. My brother, I don't know if you are aware. Okay, look, when I did matric, you were no longer there.
Of course.
But I did maths and science up until standard 9.
Then it ended
then, when I went to matric, I dropped physical science to go and do geography.
Okay.
So I only did geography in my matric year because I noticed that if I continue with this, I might not pass.
You were still, going to do it under the very same teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I decided to change and do geography, meaning I also had to change my career. But the social worker heart is something that was engraved in me by my parents in my upbringing, not directly, but by how they conducted themselves, how they took care of people, how they raised people and all of that. Because at home, I don't remember a point where in our upbringing, we did not have someone who was being looked after by my parents.
Okay.
So that taught me something that made me think of how I can impact on underprivileged people. So I started to have.
So who are these people you're talking about? Are you talking about the relatives or kind of like indirect people who you could see that they're hardly get something, to feed themselves, and then they decide to come to.
The ones who were staying at home were relatives.
Okay.
I think we might have had 4, if not 5 relatives who stayed at home.
I see.
I can think of one who stayed for more than 10 years.
I can just imagine how difficult it was, eh?
From 1989 up until the early 2000s.
Wow.
You know him.
The whole decade.
I'm not going to mention his name, but you know him.
Yeah, no, of course.
But I can mention him.
Yeah.
If
No. I certainly, I think I know the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, even before he came there, my mom's younger sister used to stay there. She's the one who raised us anyway. So, that thing started to develop in me. Of loving people, of wanting to help the underprivileged and all of that. So it was an easy decision to make for me to change from medicine to do social work. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand now where it is emanated from. Because you were kind of like socializing, eh?
Yeah.
Then socializing now, it developed to something like, you become a social worker. You want to, you want to be close to the people because you grew up just that way. Yes. Very, having, different type of people in your family and all that.
And also because where we're coming from in the villages, when they raise you, they don't raise you as an individual. You become a child of the community.
Of the community, yeah.
Meaning that if
that's how we were raised. Yeah.
Even if a neighbor is suffering, if a neighbor doesn't have food, it becomes your responsibility.
100%.
So that is one of the things which I think.
Having said that, you actually something wanted to slip my mind, but you reminded me. Saying that when growing up in the village, it becomes like everyone's responsibility.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that when you say my brother, you're referring to your biological brother.
Yeah.
It was almost everyone's responsibility.
Yeah.
To take care and to look after each other.
True.
So what we are reminding about is that I had, we had an interview on our platform with the current spokesperson of Department of Basic Education, Mike Marinda.
Yeah.
He mentioned something very touching about you. I wanted, to talk about this thing maybe later at the stage, but unfortunately you have already, invoked me. There is no way, there's no turning back. What he said to you, I don't know, what he said about you is that after he passed matric, you know his background. You know my background.
Yeah.
I know your background.
Yes.
It was obvious. It wasn't going to be an easy thing unless otherwise, there was a bursary. You're going to get a bursary, which was going to take you to the varsity.
True.
So, on this platform, Mike told us that you came to his rescue. You made it a point after passing matric. You realized, you knew that there was no way maybe he was going to be taken up, to the varsity, and you took it upon yourself to make sure that go door by door knocking. You went to their families and stuff like that. And trying to convince the parents to give them an opportunity to go to the varsity. And the worst part of it, you were not just like, pushing the parents. You played a role where you said that, look, these guys, I'll take them with me. I'll make sure that they get a shelter. So that, I find it, I found to be a very, a profound and a fundamental, thing to do. So maybe it is always good to hear it from the horse's mouth. You are here. Take us through. What happened?
You know my brother, this is humbling. Hearing it from my homeboy. This is my brother. He's my young brother. I regard him as my young brother. My brother, when I did this, it was not to get credit, but I found it to be the right thing to do as a human being, as an African. Because when I went to varsity myself, it was not easy. Other people held me by hand.
Good.
And showed me the ropes. I can talk about Foster Mtombe.
Okay. Yes, this is my brother. Yes.
He's the one who took me to tax.
Okay.
And when I went to tax, it was after I did my first year at TEFRO. And it was not easy financially for my parents. Because you must remember, my brother, that when I went to varsity, I happened to go around the same time as my two elder siblings.
Yes. Your sister as well.
And my brother.
Yes, yeah, and your brother, correct. Yes,
You know,
your
so
brother and
I
sister.
nearly, my brother, there's an incident which people are not aware of. I nearly got compromised when I was supposed to do my first year. Because other people told my dad.
And just, to cut you there, you can't conceal their names as if you're not proud of them. You're talking about Desmond, your brother, right?
Yes.
And you're talking about Happiness, Sakani, your sister, right?
Yeah.
Let it be known.
Yeah.
They played a role in your life. Yes.
So, when I was supposed to go to varsity, I think I might have stayed at home for a week or two without knowing what's going to happen with my future. And I was used to that routine, the 12 years of primary and high school.
Yeah.
I was feeling frustrated already for waking up not knowing what to do.
Yeah, it was your first time to be exposed in that kind of an environment.
And someone had told my parents that they won't be able to afford taking a child to varsity. It's impossible.
Already they were fed, your parents were fed with this negative mind.
Yeah, and they said, okay, it's fine. We'll just take the two eldest. This one. You know what my dad said to me? You are still young.
Yeah.
So I felt I was being punished for the fact that I've never repeated the standard.
Yeah.
And he said to me, no, you're still young.
That was a good thing,
I'll just take you to driving school. He said that. I'll take you to the driving school throughout the year. And I said, no, I don't need a car. I don't want to drive a car. Then
maybe you should have asked him. Maybe he was channeling you to become like a taxi driver or a bus driver to drive the city to city. Those times. Yeah.
Maybe he had a dream, but then because of motivation from guys like Foster, I remember I came to tax that year to come and check, and I did not get space. Then I went to Keflop. When I got there, I found Tembani Ivan Mabunda.
You know him, Mabunda, yes, yeah.
He's the one who
also played the role.
Yeah, he took me under his wing when I got there. For the first year, and then there was Robert Wagaina and Rufus. They are the ones who took care of me in my first year at Keflop. But when I was there, my heart was still at tax. So I was still in contact with Foster because Foster told me that, look, man, you don't necessarily need to be rich to go to varsity. Because there are study loans and all of that.
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
So, in my second year, I transferred to tax. They accepted me.
That's you talking about University of Victoria, right? Yeah.
So, when I got there, I had two study loans. One was paying for my studies, one was paying for my accommodation in Sunnyside. So, things became easier. So, because I got exposed to that, that is what motivated me to go and speak to my neighbors.
Yeah.
Because I knew that there's something that can be done to help these children study.
Yeah. You were already exposed to that. You know the channels now. It's easy. But anyway, I applaud you for that because really you were not selfish. Some other people, you help them, and it ends there. By themselves. They don't want to extend any helping hand to help other people. But anyway, now I think we understand your academic journey. Fast forward. Now you're done with your university. You completed your studies as a social worker. Now you are a legit in a social work practice environment. I see and I understand that maybe, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong, you started working back then at SAPS 2007.
No.
That's where you started?
SAPS was my second employer.
Okay,
first employer was Department of Social Development and Health, Department of Health.
Okay.
In Limpopo.
Okay, you started in
I was
Limpopo.
working in Zanini.
Okay.
From 2003 until February 2007. That's when I moved to SAPS to go and do employee wellness.
Okay. And how was it easy to maneuver in SAPS?
It took me some time to get that job. A lot of people that I started with started to get offers, and I remained behind. I started to worry, up until I got that opportunity to go there as a senior social worker to do employee wellness for SAPS in Northwest, Potchefstroom.
Okay.
But my brother, it was not easy in Northwest. I only lasted for 6 months.
What was it? And what was the challenge?
When I was working for social development, remember there's 2 acts which public service is using. When you're working for all the other known government departments, you are employed under the Public Service Act.
Okay.
So when they have to translate you into the South African Police Act on the system,
it's not an easy thing.
My brother. My brother, the first 3 months I was not getting paid. Mind you, I left the house in Zanini, I left the wife.
Does that, working for 3 months being unpaid, does that mean your salary is being piled up? You'll get it in a huge
the thing is I had responsibilities.
Yeah.
I already had a wife, I already had a car, I already had a house.
You had responsibility to look after.
I remember my dad,
of,
I had to ask for my for money from my parents. After having worked for the past 4 years being independent. They had a challenge in translating me because the guys from social development apparently took too long to send my file. So they removed me from the public service payroll system.
Yes.
But they did not complete the process. So these ones could not pick me up. So
they just left it hanging.
I was hanging.
Yeah. So it became a challenge for you when you
had to
translate. Yeah.
It was very difficult, my brother. It was very difficult. And as if that is not enough, the offer that I was given when I went there, my brother, I found that they made an error. Meaning that the offer that attracted me there was not what they were prepared to pay me. They wanted to pay
was
me
it less or
less?
Yeah. No. I just imagine the situation.
I remember my dad.
Now you are used to this, kind of salary. All of a sudden now you have to drop.
I went there because of the very same reason that I'm going to get paid.
Of course, there will be improvement, and then
my dad said to me, "Nyiko, itlanga nte." Because to him, remember my dad worked for the same employer
yes,
for 1 year.
I know. Yeah.
So moving from one employer to another for him was a taboo.
To them, it was
a
wrong
move.
move.
He spoke and it hit me very hard. But I knew what I was doing. Within 6 months, I got a better offer to come to Pretoria and work at the Department of Public Works National as an assistant director for employee welfare.
That was a good move, eh?
Yeah. Then after a few years again, I moved to Gauteng Department of Agriculture and Rural Development as a deputy director.
Hey, now I know if I know Mike Mariga, me getting chance that mangere man. Yeah, I'll farm.
Yeah, the thing is, in this modern day era, sometimes if you stay in the same space, you don't grow enough.
You need new challenges, eh?
Yes. You, just like when you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Based in a particular school, sometimes you find that you don't grow because the principal is not retired. And every teacher in a school wants to become a school principal one day.
Now paint a picture for us and the viewers out there. The difference. Now we're talking about the challenges and growing. You understand? What are the differences of working for a government sector, and now I understand that you're working for a private, sector.
Yes.
And what I want to understand is that you are dealing with different kind of people. Working for government, let's say it's SAPS. You were strictly dealing with these employees. People, employees.
Yeah.
But now in this private sector where you are today, it's a hospital.
Yeah.
Obviously, you receive different kind of people altogether compared to SAPS,
and some are of very high level. My brother, some of the people that I've met in the practice are occupying very high positions, very respected. I'm talking about ministers.
Yeah.
Yes. In training at varsity, they taught us about a non-judgmental approach.
Okay.
They taught us about remaining objective. So you remove yourself. You don't become subjective, because once you become subjective, you will not be able to soberly
discharge your responsibilities according to the way you're supposed to.
So that is one thing that I've mastered in the field. But going back to the question that you posed about the difference between working for government and being in the private sector where I'm self-employed, what was no longer working for me in government was the fact that I was no longer in direct contact with clients. I was no longer engaging.
Yeah.
I was responsible to coordinate a program, and contract with service providers. So the service providers are the ones who are doing therapy.
Okay.
And I was no longer feeling fulfilled because I was no longer making direct impact.
It's not what you are passionate for there. Yeah.
In fact, it's not even what I was trained to do. So I felt I wanted to reconnect with therapy because therapy is what I enjoy doing. So
because you get to contact to people on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah. But then you see what I'm more interested in, Nyiko, is it, if I may rephrase my question, you see, at SAPS, you were advising people from the college level.
Yes.
You were just, it wasn't only an advice, but at some point you teach them as to how do they have to handle themselves when they are out there in the field. But now, in the private sector, talking about the hospital, my belief, my understanding is that these people you are dealing with, they are different altogether because these ones they come, having, they are not in a right state of mind. Yeah. They've got emotions. They are not mentally okay here. They are, there are various situations which they face
and also different mental illnesses. Because that is what we basically deal with.
So now I understand that you are not you always make sure that you are objective.
Yeah.
But as a human being, now here's the person you are saying that this person is mentally ill.
Yeah.
He's got mental illness. How do you deal with that person? I mean, to start with, how do you deal with that person? Because in the first place, I understand that being mentally ill, it's not easy for you to comprehend, to understand.
True.
When you are engaging, you understand. So
I agree with you, and I want to add to what you're saying.
Yeah.
By saying that when you suffer from any mental illness, the mental illness affects how you feel, how you think, and how you behave.
Okay.
So in a way, you don't choose. It's a must that these three areas of your life will be affected. So you need to use what we call a client-centered approach. You look at each case as it comes without being judgmental and understanding that this person relies on you.
Yeah.
It is you who must uplift them.
Yeah.
It is you who must guide them. It is you who must help them navigate around their issues.
Give him, confidence.
Yes. And what gives us an advantage is the fact that we're working as a team.
Okay.
We've got a psychiatrist, which is who is our admitting doctor and responsible to diagnose and to also prescribe medication. We've got our clinical psychologist. We've got our occupational therapist, the physiotherapist, and myself as a social worker. So we complement each other. We are a team. We complement each other.
Oh, I only imagine how futile that exercise is. But then it's fine. Moving from that, there is Nyabani EAP.
Yeah.
What is Nyabani EAP? What is all
that
about
is
this?
That is my baby. That is my baby. There's a few entities under the same name, Nyabani.
Okay.
There's Nyabani Events.
Okay.
Which is an events management company. I'm sure you've seen
the convoy one, blah blah blah.
No, not that one.
Okay, that's another one.
When you pass by my street,
there's
a board that's written Nyabani Events.
Okay.
That's been there for years.
Yeah.
That is my business. It's responsible to organize events, to set up tents, chairs, and all of that. Mobile fridges, mobile toilets, and all that. It's something that I started with my dad some time ago.
Okay.
Maybe around 2005.
Yeah. So you never looked back actually from since then.
And also to keep the old man busy on weekends.
That's a good idea.
Then there is Nyabani EAP and Wellness Consultants. This is a consulting firm which is responsible to render employee wellness services to different institutions and to also help companies or institutions to develop policies and strategies that center around employee wellness.
Is it?
Yeah, it is something that I was doing in government.
Okay.
When I left government,
so that's another entity. Employee wellness.
Yeah, Nyabani EAP and Wellness Consultants.
Okay.
Then the convoy you're speaking about.
Before you go to the convoy,
the consultant part of it.
Yeah.
Where are your operations? Where are you operating from? The viewers want to know because
I am operating.
You have to sell yourself. Let them know
Okay.
where they could find you. Where are you operating from?
Look, there's the private practice as a social worker, which is here in Natka Jacaranda Hospital in Victoria.
Okay.
Then the consultancy, we are in the process of moving offices to Centurion now. Because there's a new client that we just got.
I see.
It's a big client with about 2,000 employees. So we're supposed to have a good base.
I see.
Where they can find us. But we operate remotely when it comes to employee wellness, because we're supposed to be having a 24-hour call center. But on the other side, we visit the sites. So we go to their workplace to render services.
I see.
So we do have affiliates all over the country who are responsible to go and discharge duties in the respective offices where our clients are based. Say for instance now, you've got employees that are based in Guyana, or some are based in Cape Town, and you've got an issue there, or maybe there's an incident that requires some debriefing. I'll just get an affiliate who's based in that particular area to go and attend to the matter. So that is the model that I've been using.
I get it. Quite interesting. What a journey! What a journey you have walked. A lot of things actually along the way you have encountered. So I don't know. It's anything which you feel that you want to share with the viewers out there, pertaining your journey. Before you even got where you are, or just anything which you feel that this there's no way I could leave this platform without sharing with the viewers out there, because interviewing a person of your caliber, we feel that as in Sobo podcast, you understand what I mean? We feel that it's important because it should be of a great benefit to the viewers. To the viewers out there. So I don't think it will be good to leave any stone unturned. That's why I'm saying that. Do you think it's anything which you also want to to put in there?
There is a few things that I would like to share. My brother, in this field of ours, majority of the people are females.
Right.
We got discouraged so many times.
Yeah, that certainly you find it everywhere in the workplace. Yeah.
I'm sure you don't know of so many male social workers.
No.
No. So we got
you're quite right.
The system itself was not that warm or receptive towards us as male social workers. And also the age, because when I started working I was young and I was based in some rural areas where I would be expected to be sometimes rendering marital therapy to pensioners.
I see.
I remember this old man called Mr. Mkhulubutu came to my office in Zanini and he said, what do
you have to tell me?
You understand?
So
you need to know your story. You need to understand the role that you're supposed to play.
It's not about age. It's not about the body structure.
Yes.
It's about what you have here.
And it's not also about what you've been through in life.
Yes.
Because there will be some who will say, why are you going to tell me about marriage because you're not married? Because there are those who come to me and say, hey, young man, are you married? So those are some of the things you'll experience. But then, besides that, my brother, when we started working, the people who were in the system already were somehow consumed by the system such that they could not think outside the box. That is the biggest weakness we have in the field.
They were stereotyped.
Yes, my brother.
Focus on one thing. You have to think, outside the box at some point.
Welcomed during the day of our first orientation after I graduated, I regretted, my brother, choosing this field. Because the big boss there in Guyana said to us, you need to understand that social work is a calling. There's no money.
Yes.
So you are going to suffer here. You are going to suffer. You are not going to make money. My brother,
And really, believe me, there is no one who wants to work for free.
Because
not a charity.
I wanted to change my family background.
Yes, absolutely.
And when I'm told this by people in the field.
And your life for that matter.
For about 20 years, you get discouraged and say, did I make the right move? And then my first salary, my brother, I'm going to say this. My annual salary was 62,000 per annum.
That is very low.
It was
per annum. You talk about an annum.
And coming from varsity. Your parents are expecting you to come and take care of them.
No, actually still suffering while you are working.
Yes.
Because you can't even afford, to pay your rent, you buy food, you have to buy clothes and so on and so on. So that was really very low.
Yeah, it was very sad. So I told myself, I gave myself a target of working for 10 years in government.
At least you were focused.
Yeah, I told myself I'm going to work for 10 years. After that, I'll see what to do.
Yeah.
I'll be more exposed. There's something. And there's people like both Caswell.
Yeah.
I look up to a man like him.
Yes.
Looking at,
he's also doing very good. He's a big business man.
And also the fact that when he left in government, he was big. He was a chief director.
Yeah.
And it was a dream come true for so many people, and they did not understand when he left. So I said to myself, I'm not going to be confined.
Yeah.
Because if you allow for that, you won't grow.
Yeah, you won't grow.
Yeah. And as I grow,
go out there and be challenges.
You want to have a family, you want to have kids.
You have a dream. You have a dream. Yeah.
But then, when I left government, I was being paid $500,000 per annum.
Okay.
Yeah. I started.
At least you could just, you could see the difference.
You understand?
A huge difference, yeah.
So I got criticized, even by my friends and colleagues.
Having left.
Yes,
and now
because most of them who were my age, who I started to work with, were not on that level. So it was their dream to be there.
Yes.
But they did not understand what drove me. So they thought I committed career suicide. My brother, they used to gossip about me. They used to say a lot of bad things about me. But I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted.
No, I understand your situation. It becomes a problem when, you want to be driven or you want to get, an approval from people.
That's a very big problem.
Whatever you want to do in your life, remember this is your own life. So you have to decide and do your own things. Yeah. Okay.
And I think it's because of where we come from. We were orientated to think that when you graduate, you must go look for employment somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's why you'll find a lot of graduates, my brother. You know a lot of graduates who are unemployed, who've got a skill which they can be able to commercialize. But they're waiting for a job to come from somewhere. My brother, I have a brother who did agriculture. Honors, agricultural economics. He spent about 10 years before he got his first job.
10 years?
Yeah, but he did not think of starting anything, not even a chicken farm or anything.
Wow.
He was waiting for a job.
Fully graduated?
Yes. So the system we're coming from did not prepare us to be entrepreneurs. So I challenged myself to say, I have got this skill and it is my duty to go and convince people that I can be able to trade it. So that is what I believe in.
No, I think, you've got a point there. And this is something really which we have to, to point out to the people out there. Because, there are a lot of people who are having, good qualifications, graduates, and so on. But unfortunately, they don't think outside the box.
No, they don't.
They always, believe that, it's about time, guys. We're living, in different times altogether. These days, you have, to start something.
You have to do something.
You can't afford to be waiting to be employed.
Yeah.
You could see, how jobs are scarce in our country.
Very scarce.
We are really living in the dangerous times now. It's about time one has to really, to jump out from the comfort zone and make sure that you think of something, you do something. When we talk about hustlers, we talk about the people who initiate, who are no longer in the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Think outside the box.
People who are even prepared to take risks.
Absolutely, people. You have to go out and make sure that you take risks, because you can't see. Actually, it is unfortunately is beyond us. You can't guarantee. You can't even see what is behind those walls. Until you make an effort.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown
will allow it to conquer us.
You understand what I mean? So it means you must take initiatives. You have to go for it. It won't come to you.
You will never know what's on the other side of the wall until you go there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So my message actually of encouragement is that, guys, move away from the comfort zone. It's about time start anything, as long as it will give you something come end of the day. That is fundamental. You don't have to be like, having, a degrees, you have got master. No, that is nothing. What matters is here, your brains. You can start anything and you could find yourself earning good and making, living your good life just because of applying your mind. do something for yourself. No one is going to pick you up and say, come, let's go. No, life doesn't come, in a silver platter. It doesn't work that way. Be a hustler, stand up, go out and make it. That's it. Yeah. So I think you are right, Nyiko. You are right. It's just that it's a pity that we as Africans, most of the time, what we are good at is to pull each other down. Instead of just
discourage each other.
Yes, instead of just motivating, encouraging, and supporting your initiatives.
We are. I don't even want to say we are very competitive. We are not competitive,
No.
but we've got this.
No, it's a jealous thing.
Yes.
It's a jealous thing.
Yes.
You understand? We're always negative. And we really like, to entertain things which, it doesn't even concern us. I mean, for your movement from one employment to the other, how and where does it concern me? It has got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You're an adult. You have decided. You have seen. You have got. You have got a dream. You know where you want to see yourself in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Basically. Now, you see, we as in Sobolini Academy, I strongly believe that you know what we stand for, what we are doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are actually in a battle.
Yeah.
We are trying to get, by the way, this institution, Sobolini Academy, it deals with trainings.
Yeah.
We're offering, a numerous number of trainings.
Yeah.
But mainly, what is actually on song, it's sign language.
Yeah.
Where we empowering your subs.
Yes.
Sign language. We're offering them basic sign language. That is only for 5 days, and believe me, when they leave the training, come day 5th, they are well informed,
They are able to
well
communicate.
equipped. They could be able to communicate. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to know from you, Nyiko. You can't limit yourself. Apparently, you deal with all these different kind of people.
True.
You might not have, currently as we speak, you might not have, encountered a situation whereby you have to deal with a deaf person and stuff like that. But
It's coming.
certainly,
It will
because
come. It will come.
deaf people, they also, become,
Depressed.
patient,
They
depressed,
do get depressed.
sick, and all those things. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So they will, one way or other, come and seek for your services. Now I want to know, what is your view when it comes to sign language and deaf people or deaf society, deaf community? More especially after it has been proclaimed by our president,
Yeah.
May this year, 2022, that sign language now is going to be added. By the way, it's a bill which has been passed by our president and also his cabinet.
Yeah.
That it is going to be the 12th official language.
Yeah.
What is your take? What is your view?
My brother, it's long awaited. Long overdue.
Over you.
Yeah, we're supposed to be having that long before democracy. Because we've been having them. We've been having people who've got this form of disability all along. How have they been surviving? We are saying we're a caring society, but we don't care for those who are disadvantaged in some form. I think it's unfair. So it's a good move, though it's long overdue. And I'm hoping that it will be fast-tracked to ensure that we all become familiar. By the way, I had the privilege myself of being trained in sign language when I was still in public works.
Okay.
I think it was your former employer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had the privilege. My brother, it is very important.
It is.
It is very important. Okay, think about a typical hospital.
Yeah.
It's got a reception, but the people at the reception do not know how to use sign language. Are we saying that deaf people are not supposed to go to hospital? Do we have to be calling people to come and translate? It's unfair. Let's say I'm in therapy.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to help this person. If I do not know the language, how do I help these people? Do I have to call a third party and compromise the confidentiality because they are deaf? It's unfair.
Now, it is actually heartbreaking. You see, Nyiko is very, very touchy, because when you look at deaf people, completely, they seem to be not part of us.
True.
In all sectors, all services,
Very
they require services like ourselves. And if I think it's about time as South Africans to do something about that, Because if I may give you an example, Nyiko, you go to church on Sunday, right? And I can give you a homework that next week Sunday go to church, and come back, tell me how many deaf people you have seen being part of the church congregation. Believe me, I can bet my last cent. You won't see even one. Why? We are behind. Instead of the pastors there empowering or choosing one of their church member that look, go and train sign language, so that we could be able to accommodate deaf people. Because look, deaf people, they also need the word of God. And should they go there, tell me, how are they going to understand what the pastor is preaching about? And yet again, you go to court, to police station, same applies. So you just give me, tell me, you give me a reason why actually we're not supposed to empower ourselves with that. There's no
This
reason.
is a skill we are supposed to all possess, all of us as human beings.
Because also remember, before we could talk about the the workplaces, these people we are residing with it.
Yes, they live in our society.
They live in our society.
In fact, they are excluded from anything.
From anything. So it is our view, it is exactly what we are pursuing. We're pleading, with all the government sectors, because they are the mother body. They are very influential. They are capable, you understand what I mean, of making people to be trained in sign language. And once we get that done, we know that we are certain. We have, by so doing, we'll be breaking a barrier which is between
and
us.
If you check, my brother, I don't know, you are more exposed in this, but
Very.
my view is that if you can go find a deaf person in Cape Town, there's a very high likelihood that they speak a different language to someone at Wadzegze.
Yeah.
And you'll find that the language that the two are using is not necessarily the official deaf language.
No.
It is what the parents have tried to connect at home, so that they communicate with this person. So if you can put the two of them together, they won't even be able to communicate.
You see, Nyiko, it is very important, for one to learn sign language, because way before you start with the training itself, we have to train you, we have to teach you about the culture of deaf people, the do's and the don'ts. So you should know how to handle deaf people. The example which you have given now, it reminds me of a certain incident. There was this woman, a couple of months down the line, called me, wanted to send a child to be trained in sign language. A child is deaf. It's so sad. You know what happened? She told me that, look, I never received, or I never been exposed in an official sign language. And same applies to my daughter. It's a girl. It was a problem from the onset, from the childhood, for me to communicate with her. But the story which she narrated to me, which is touching, it's a very touching story, is that one day she felt sad after her daughter conceived. She was expecting, and it happened that one day she went to the hospital. She was in pain. So apparently, it was labor pains, and she had to to go there with her. Unfortunately, they couldn't. The nurses, the doctors, whoever was supposed to be of service, they couldn't comprehend and understand how to assist her. And she said, because even herself, it wasn't like an official sign language. Sign language. They were not communicating in official language. Sign language. You understand what I mean? It was only that language, unofficial sign language, which they have created themselves
At home.
You understand what at home. So you can just imagine how terrible it was. Because look, she has to talk to her using this unofficial sign language, and now she has to translate to them as the sisters and the doctors, so that she could be able to get service. Believe me, she said in the end she couldn't get assistance. They had to transfer her to another hospital where they thought they could be able to get somebody to translate. A touching story. This lady was from Guyana. I was very touched about that. And believe me, I'm still going to interview that lady.
As a mental health professional myself, it touches me.
It is.
Because, believe you me, that torture hit her.
Yeah, in the brain.
When she see how the society is rejecting it, because that's rejection.
Thank you. That's a rejection.
It kills her self-esteem.
Thank you.
It leads to her asking herself if this life is worth living. A person can take their lives.
How do you live without a self-esteem?
You know?
Yes.
Wherever you go, you have to see how you cope, how you adjust, how you are received. Because the people are not making an effort to try and understand you. You are excluded from a lot of activities in the society. What does that do to your mind?
In all the sporting code, I don't think you could even single out one where deaf people are partaking. That's why I'm saying that we as South Africans, it's about time we make an effort, we do something about this thing. We can't afford, to segregate our own brothers and sisters, our own parents, because they are deaf people.
Yeah.
They've got, a certain disability. By the way, all of us as human beings, we have our own disabilities. It's just that, it can be, equivalent to yours.
Yes.
That's what the difference is.
The degree is not the same.
The degrees are not the same, you understand? So I encourage you guys, viewers out there, that, I think it is about time. Let's just do something. Let's accommodate these people. Because end of the day, what do you think? By the way, Nyiko, these people, they are not, don't just say that he's fine, it's not necessary for you to learn this.
Yeah.
When they come, for your services, you say that, no, I'll be able to assist them. I'll give them a pen and a piece of paper. They're not even that good in writing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, whatever they will write there,
Yeah.
even if they try to SMS you, you understand what I mean? So the only source of communication is you training in sign language, understanding how to communicate, knowing how to communicate in sign language. Yeah. So I think that it's something which it's not in for negotiations. It's a must thing to do. You understand? I think we're done with this part, Nyiko. I don't know if you have something which you still we want to cough out. Because this platform, by the way, is yours. Anything which you want to cough out, then you could cough out, because I'm just afraid we are almost running out of time. So, but anything which you feel that you want to share with these viewers, certainly proclaim it.
When I was in government, I was also practicing for the last few years. I was practicing privately, so I was moonlighting actually.
Okay.
Just so I test the waters of how it feels and the type of challenges I might encounter if I were to leave government full time. And while I was still busy moonlighting, I happened to have my own problems.
Okay.
Leading to
your own personal problems?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Leading to me having to go through therapy myself.
Really?
To go and see, helping professionals.
Has it gone that far?
Yes, it went that far.
So that was immense.
But then, my brother, that was a blessing in disguise, because it gave me a chance to experience how it feels to be sitting on the other side of the table with a professional sitting on the other. Because I was used to sitting this side of the table.
Receiving your own therapy now.
Now I'm the client.
Yes.
So that gave me a huge advantage, because it gave me a perspective of how it feels.
How it feels actually to be a client. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
It challenged me.
Wow.
And it helped me a lot. So while I was still going through treatment, my brother, I built a relationship with the helping professionals, such that I ended up coming back as a partner with the people who were treating me.
Really?
Yes. So the relationship was that of a doctor-patient, but then I capitalized.
But then this guy is a visionary. Off air, he was telling me the journey, he walked upon him reaching, the social work, practices where he is today. That it was first, he was admitted in the very same hospital which he is currently working. At some point, he was a patient.
Yes.
But in the end, here he is today. So that, it sends a message. It tells me that, this man is very strong, he's very powerful, he's a visionary. He doesn't back down.
When I was approaching the end of my admission in hospital, something that struck me was the amount of confidence that the doctor had on me.
Okay.
This
Why
guy
you were a
said to me,
patient? You were a patient, yeah.
yeah, he said to me, look, I want to make you the best social worker in the country.
Wow.
My brother, the therapy that I underwent was not easy. Says that at some point you would even hate the professionals who are helping you because they were hardcore. The man is very, very tough. His name is Dr. Lawrence.
Okay.
He's my colleague now.
Okay. The one who hooked you in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then when I was going through treatment, one day, because he saw how passionate I was and
He
how
saw something in you.
knowledgeable I
He saw
was,
something in you.
and he said to me, look, I want you to prepare notes which I'm going to give to my other patients.
He gave you an assignment?
Yes, when I was still a patient, he said to me, look, prepare notes about dealing with forgiveness.
Okay.
Yeah, which you are going
As a
to...
social worker, now
Yes,
we're using
yes.
your social worker expertise now.
Yes. Then I prepared the notes.
Wow. While laying in a sick bed?
Yes. Notes which fellow patients had to use.
Yeah.
And he saw something. Which is something that has never happened.
Quite interesting, eh? Yeah.
Then, after I got discharged, by then I did not think I'll come back. But after getting discharged, because I was starting the system when I was inside, there was no social worker. There was no need for a social worker. They did not see a need.
So you created,
Yes,
a need.
I created a business case
Wow.
for myself.
Wow.
I went out, thought of how I can be able to make a difference and add value in the team. And I came back and proposed to him.
So you see, by the time you were a patient in a very same hospital, there was no need. You were not actually looking for a social worker.
See a need to
But then you, one way or other, strategically, you created it.
Yes, I created a need.
Wow.
I came back here. The man gave me a task. It was very challenging. In the afternoon, he said to me, go and prepare notes for 10 different themes or subjects.
Wow.
Which you think you can help us with in the team.
Yeah.
So, in a way, go and prepare a case.
Wow.
And tell us what value you bring.
Yes. And
he said to me, I want it by end of today. It's already
that was a short
around,
notice, eh?
around 2-3.
That was a short notice, eh?
Very short notice. My brother, I went home. I worked the whole night. I did not sleep. When he received that,
Preparing for that,
when he received the
report,
email, I think it was about 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I did not sleep.
Working on this report.
Working on this because it was my only chance.
Yes.
Did it. He saw it, he asked me to come and pitch, to come and discuss it personally.
Now you do your presentation.
Yes, he asked me questions, and I impressed him. He said to me, no, start working on the following week. Come do group sessions on these topics. And then I started to do it. And the whole team started to see the impact I was making on patients. Then the rest is history.
Far is where you are coming from. And this is an evidence that good things, it doesn't just come easily.
Yeah.
You have to work very hard, you have to sweat, to get it.
So the journey has never been easy. I don't want to lie to you. I'm sure you can relate. My brother, I never had the privilege of sleeping on a bed throughout.
Of course, that I can
who were occupying a
you were
room
living
somewhere in Sansa.
You
We were sleeping in a sitting room. By day it's a sitting room. By evening it's a bedroom.
So during the day it's a sitting room.
It's a sitting room. But the minute
at night it's a bedroom.
the minute they leave,
Yes.
if they can happen to leave very late, you have a problem because you can't sleep.
But then the generation of today, Nyiko, do you think they could do that? What do you think, guys? What is their take, please? Is putting it, right in your face to say that, this is the journey which, he had traveled.
Yeah, no,
do you think, the generation of today could be able to handle that?
I know, it's very hard. I don't think that we can actually handle that. It's really tough. I believe that we have it easy now. Yeah,
They'll crack, man.
Yeah.
They'll crack. Some will even suffer from mental illnesses.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because most of our youth right now, we just suffer from a lot of stuff, and just to look at it, there isn't much really going on. It's just how you guys experienced it. So we would really have it really bad.
Can you handle it, Macbeth?
I think the reason of that is because that he came from a background that built him to be like this.
Okay.
So he was able to have the courage to even sleep on the couch.
Yes.
So we as this generation, we don't have that background.
You find life is actually in a silver platter. You understand what I mean? So during our days, in our generation, like you are saying, we had a reason to study very hard, so that we could be able to change the background. And that's how it is. It is the reason, it's where it is today. By the way, you see, I'm very much proud of you. And I strongly believe that even the parents back home, they are also proud of you. It wasn't really an easy journey. And I want to, give you a big round of applause because you haven't, mentioned this, but I've heard that, at some point, you go an extra mile, giving, the people who are, the needy people. You give them, the food parcels and stuff like that. So, I think, that is also, something, which needs, an acknowledgement.
Yeah, my brother, my motto is, if I have privileges and an advantage which others do not have, it is my responsibility to try and uplift them. If I have things, the people around me should at least gain something out of what I have.
100%.
I've given a lot in life, and I'm still going to give. There are food parcels which we distribute around festive season with your brothers, for that matter.
Okay. Yes, I remember. My young brother was told
yes.
this. Yeah.
Food parcels.
Yes.
We do motivational
Which is
talks
good.
in
Yes.
schools.
Yes.
There are people that have sent to go obtain driver's licenses. There are. There's a lot. There's also a show that I have on Facebook, which is me giving back to the community,
Okay.
rendering a free service.
Wow.
So the professional service that I'm doing for a living, in the evenings I dedicate about 1 hour 30 minutes to educate people about mental health, free of charge.
So you see, it becomes a problem, maybe it's just because of the deficiency of information. People, they become jealous of something which they don't have information about it.
Yeah.
They don't understand why you are where you are today.
Yeah.
It is of a good heart which you are having. You understand what I mean? Of a good work which you are doing. It is the reason, everything seems to be going well for you.
Yeah.
You have worked very hard for this, and why not? You deserve, to be rewarded, abundantly by God. And anyway, what can we say? I think this brings us to an end of this show. But believe me, Nyiko, I'm so gratified by your presence.
Thanks, my brother.
Gracing this platform. It was a good thing to have you today. I believe you guys, viewers out there at home, you have heard from the professional social worker, not just a mere social worker. And if you couldn't absorb or suck something out of that, then I don't know. Don't forget again, viewers out there, this Mintirobula podcast with Nsobo Learning Academy is powered or sponsored by Nsobo Learning Academy, as you can see there. It is also sponsored by Migingiriko General Services. So we urge you guys, we invite you that you come and also become the sponsors, unless otherwise you want to do the advertising. Come and advertise here, then only if you want to see your business growing. Thank you very much. Kanimamba, we are out of here.